This is the card I've got for you guys today. Hey Becky, I haven't seen you in a while. Every once in a while you pop in. It's good to see ya. All right, so this is the card we're making. Now, while we're waiting for everybody to get in here, I want to start with a couple of quick little housekeeping items. Hey Des, will you hand me those other samples over there in front of you from the occasions catalog? All right, so thank you, Gina. Gina says cute card. Hi, Lisa. Yeah. And maybe even my little thank you card. All right. I see you guys are coming in here. Aw, Delene, happy birthday. Yep, birthday cards in honor of your birthday. That's exactly right. Hi, Kathy. Thank you. Hi, Carol. All right, you guys, as you're coming in here, I want to share a couple of quick things with you. All right, so Stampin' Up! Had announced that they're having some supply issues with dies, and they had said that there was going to be they thought that there were going to be a few sets that weren't going to make it supply-wise through the occasions catalog period. So the occasions catalog period is through June 3rd, but it's very clearly while supplies last. So I just wanted to take a minute today, kind of public service announcement, especially for my customers, and just let you know that there's some things that are going to run out before the catalog is expired. Okay, so I decided to focus on the birthday edgelits because they're one of the ones that will not last the entire catalog period. I got this card in a swap, so it shows you the other edgelit. There's a cupcake and birthday gifts, and then there's also a couple of framelits, like the framelits will cut out the cupcake, coordinates with birthday cheer. And then, let's see here, there's an awesome little tag in it. It's a really good birthday set, and it was something that a lot of my in-person customers had shown some interest in. There's a little tag, does for your birthday. But the die set will not last through the whole selling period. So I thought, you know what, we are going to make a card with that. I'm just going to encourage you that if you love something from the occasions catalog that you place your order. All right, so there's another sample. Here's another one. This is my thank you card for February orders. And this one just features a little cupcake framelit. All right, so some ideas with that Detailed Birthday Edgelits. Now, there were two other die sets that Stampin' Up! Had indicated would not last through the entire selling period in the catalog, and we're going to retire, so they won't get any more of them. If you've got your eyes on them, give me a call or a text or a private message, and I'll help you get them ordered. One of them is the Wonderful Romance. What is this one called? Wonderful Floral Framelits. And the other one that they had indicated was this Rose Trellis Thinlits dies. So just housekeeping, a little public service announcement, especially for my local customers. I know that a lot of you went really wild over this swap card that I had received. Had your eyes on that die set. Here's the little label that's in that die set. So just some really beautiful samples. But I don't want you to miss out and say I didn't do anything to let you know, because it's just the way it is right now with Stampin' Up! If you love it, order it, because that way you know you got it. You don't wait if you love it. All right, so public service announcement done. I got another quick little housekeeping for you. The Kitchen Table Stamper online classroom for April will open next week for registration, and Monday the Geared Up Garage online classroom and kits will go out, and so will the Cute Crew online classroom and kits. We'll be opening for April the Blooming Desert class. So here's your little sneak peek. 4 cards in the class. Stamp set is included, Flowering Desert, and this class is, oh, you want that one right side up. This class is going to be $30. If you need shipping is required. There'll be $8 priority mail for the 4 cards. All right, so those are my public service announcements for the day and my Housekeeping. Gina says, darling. Thank you, Gina. That's just really, I tapped into something that I truly loved. My daughter, Desi, who's usually here with me lately, we always joke that she's a cactus. You want a hug? And so that was a really special set for me. I knew I needed to have it. Just like Geared Up Garage, the man's a mechanic. So when I saw Geared Up Garage, I knew that a class was coming. All right, so for this particular card, let's get started with our project for today. I am using the Amazing Life stamp set for my happy birthday greeting and the Detailed Birthday Edgelits dies. We're going to use this fun little gift edgelet. I left a couple little like hanging little chads in there. We'll see how that cuts with that. Let's see here, Stampin' pad. I just had it in my hand. Night of Navy today. I've got my tailored tag punch because you guys know how I love to use that for my dovetail ends. What else do I have today? I've got the lovely lipstick Girl Grain ribbon. I've got a little scrap here of the reversible ribbon. This is Granny Apple Green Coastal Cabana reversible ribbon. This one's from the Occasions catalog. Love that stuff. Then silver sequin mini trim. Morning Pam, thank you. I'm really in love with this edgelet die set, so I wanted to show it off before it's gone. Hi Kay from North Carolina. All right, share the video if you've got crafty friends who would like to see it. I've got some consumables here. My card base is Coastal Cabana. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I've got the designer series paper, the 6 by 6 Brights. This is the Coastal Cabana, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. Then I've got already cut for you guys. I did my stitched rectangle from Melon Mambo. And let's see, which one is this one? This is D, which is the 3 15/16 by 2 5/8 rectangle. It's already cut. I've got scraps for my details, some Melon Mambo, Green Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, and Night of Navy. Now these are really just scraps out of the bottom of the bag. And I've got a scrap of Whisper White for doing my die cutting. Becky says the knot bow thingy might be her favorite part. It's so cute. Isn't it festive? I put it together. I'm like, oh, that might be too much. But no, this is a really, really happy birthday, right? Let's see here. Last thing is a strip of 1/2" Whisper White. That's for our sentiment. And mine's about 4 1/4. I mean, about 5 1/4, but it's a little bit longer than what you need. All right? I'm going to start while I'm standing here. I'm going to grab my Big Shot and do some die cutting. And we don't need that bottom edge, but I'm going to cut it with it anyways so you can see. If you were to cut this along the edge of your card, it would all remain intact, giving you that detailed edge. I like that you can use it as an edge, but you absolutely don't have to. You can cut it out, and it can be a fun focal piece too. All right, so I ran it back and forth because it is fairly detailed. Get that guy off of there. And then here's what happens. So see, it cuts the edge so that it remains intact with the cardstock. So if you did this along a longer piece, you would have just that edge. I don't know. Am I explaining that clearly? Does that kind of show you how it works? But I don't really want it on the edge. I want it to stand by itself. So what I'm going to do here now is just kind of imagine how it might be if each of these little presents was kind of bopping along on its own. And so I'm just taking a pair of paper snips, and you just take a deep breath and own it. Just cut along and make it an actual embellishment. Now, I think I want this one to come up like this a bit. round this a little bit. See, so you're just making it up, you're cutting it out, because we're gonna use this with dimensionals and really make it a focal point. You guys get that? Pretty cool? All right, now I've got all these little scraps here, and I've got my take your pick tool, because I want to really show off the negative, positive aspect of this. So I'm gonna make sure I pop out all of these little white areas, because I want that contrast that we're gonna lay behind it. I'm gonna go ahead and with my multi-purpose liquid glue, I'm gonna just drag the tip along the back here. I'm starting right in the center with this tall, skinny polka dot present, and a little bit goes a really long way on this. I'm gonna line my scrap up behind the present, burnish it down, flip it over, and now I'm just going to take my paper snips and snip off any Night of Navy that I don't want to be seen. So right here where it's encroaching on its neighbor, I'm gonna trim it down. And then I'm gonna come up to the top here and trim. I don't want my bow to be Night of Navy, so I can just kind of lop that off, you see? And then right here at the edge, we got a little bit poking out, and then down here at the bottom. See that? So now we've got a white present with Night of Navy polka dots. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the next one over here, this little kind of grid pattern one. I'm going to run a little bit of adhesive. If you do this on your silicone mat, it will keep you from getting adhesive all over. I should have grabbed mine before I got started. Here. So a little bit of Coastal Cabana. I'm going to just burnish it down. And then we'll do the same thing. We're just trim along the bottom here where we don't want to see it. And I just kind of put the edge of the scissor up along the edge of the white, and you can really kind of hack it away. It doesn't have to look good behind there. See, it's not going to look good behind there, but it does look pretty from the front. All right, got a couple more little presents to do the same way. And then with the scraps, I'm going to go back and do the bows on the top of the presents there. Now for the Melon Mambo. Less glue is really more, otherwise the front of your card will be sticky. You just burnish down the scrap, flip it over and cut off the excess. Uh-oh, I cut it a little short there. Maybe I can tip it a little bit and still fill in. Not too bad. And then up along the edge here. It's not a difficult process, and I think it provides a lot of impact. There we go. What do you guys think? Have you guys done this technique before with the multicolor? It also works if you want to cut it in a few different colors and then do an inlay. So you can cut a white outline and then cut a couple of different colors of the same edgelit die cut, and then you can take the little pieces, save the little cutouts, and you can lay them back in. I find that's a little bit more fussy to do. You need a lot of patience for an inlay with a die that's this detailed, but it sure would be beautiful. And then you can get multicolor stripes and multicolor polka dots if you wanted to get really fancy. All right, last little Melon Mambo present here. And you see as I go, I just let the scraps overlap in the back. Just hack them off. They don't have to be tidy lines. They just have to be not showing from the front is really the goal. Pam says she's going to try this. She needs birthday cards. It really is got a lot of impact. And if you don't like to color, this is a good one for getting some bright, fun, festive colors on a card without having to color in. And it's also one that you can just sit and you can glue and trim a whole pile of them, and then you've got a whole pile of great focal images, focal points for some birthday cards. All right, so there it is. There's our little dude. Now I do want to go back really quick with the scraps, and I'm going to put a little glue on the bow here and a little glue on the bow here. And I'm going to go back with my Night of Navy. And then I want a little melon rainbow. Ah, thought I dropped it or something. This way maybe. Gotta get underneath here. All right. So just adhere those guys down, pick up. And now here is really optional because you got a little bit more fussy cutting here. You could leave the bows open like I did on the Coastal Cabana one, or you can go in like I did on this Night of Navy present and put a little color behind. It's your choice, but here's where it gets a little bit more fussy cut because you'll have to go up underneath and then follow along this kind of cloud shape. And again, it doesn't have to look nice on the back, so you can kind of push in underneath the white and cut it off underneath the white. It only needs to look pretty from one side. All right. Anybody else gonna try it? Is Pam our only brave soul who's gonna give it a try? Julie says, so cute. Hi, Julie, thank you. This is one of those die sets that is going to sell out before the occasion's catalog period ends. And it was one that was a very popular with my swap cards and on my display. So there's a few die sets that Stampin' Up! Projects will run out before the end of the occasions catalog. This is one of them. And so I thought, good day to feature it. I haven't used it enough at all. All right, so there's our focal points. Isn't that exciting how it just came to life with all those colors? Julie has the stamp set and die. Way to go getting it before it's gone. And yes, you should try it because it's really festive and it's really easy. Wait till you see how fast this card is going to come together now. You guys just aren't going to believe it. That was it. That was the hard part. That was everything right there. All right, so I'm going to flip. And you can see it's not pretty on the back. Doesn't have to be. We're going to take some dimensionals and we'll put them kind of high and low to support. I like to break them up into halves. I think that'll do. Our card base is all prepared. Let's get that glued down. Carol says, love it. Thank you, Carol. I really do too. All right, time for me to stand up again. For those of you who are keeping tabs, I am 3.5 weeks healed on my broken fibula, and I'm starting to walk on it right, left in a walking boot. So that's pretty exciting. And now our rectangle, we're gonna adhere that one to the card front also. Now the rectangle comes in off center, but when we put our little embellishment, it balances it out. So we're gonna put it to the right, probably about 1/2 inch from the edge of the card and about 3/4 or an inch from the bottom of the card. And because it's on striped paper, you want to kind of watch that it's level before you burnish it down. You don't like uphill, downhill cards. Carol says, glad your foot is doing better. Thank you, Carol. I am definitely hobbling around a little bit more these days. All right, so for my greeting here, I've got the greeting coming from the edge of the designer series paper. So I'm going to just kind of eyeball that because I want to stamp my happy birthday, which is small compared to the banner, in the appropriate place. Kathy says, hooray, glad you're doing better. Oh, me too. All right, so I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat. Let's get that dude in there and put the whole thing up on top. Night of Navy ink pad. I'm gonna dry fit this and I'm gonna stamp it right here. I love this Happy Birthday. It's just a nice basic bold one. Get a nice impression from it every time. All right, now for me, my Taylor Tag Punch, my good buddy, is coming out here. You know what? I'm gonna hold off on that because I don't want to smear that ink. We have a really great image there. Let's hold off on Taylor Tag so we don't smear the ink for just a minute. Let's go to our little embellishment fun here. All right, so I got my ribbon. And I'm going to start with the green side up. Got my glue dots. And I'm gonna grab one kind of on the granny apple green side here. And it's okay if you crunch it in a little bit because you want the edges to come together a little bit here. So it's okay if you squeeze it a bit and make the loop. Now you want a nice sharp scissor, cut an angle. And then we'll cut this one to clean it up. And then you want to audition that and make sure that it's not too crazy, too big. I'm going to give it just a bit more of a haircut. I do not want it to hang off the edge of the card. So I'm going to trim down my tails just a little bit more. All right, so you've got our little loop. This one might be just a little bit long, but it was in my scrap bag, so it was perfect for today. I'm going to, and like the loop, I'm gonna put the glue dot, and then we're gonna bring it onto the back. See that, dude? And then we can trim that down a little bit too. Next up, I got my lovely lipstick, grosgrain. I'm just gonna tie a little bow here. So fold up and pinch over the top. Got fingers to finger here. Pull that through. Hold the center. Hold the center and pull the tails till you get a nice tight knot in the middle, little pretty bow. Hi Sally, how are you? Got a very festive birthday card. I think it's because of this little knot of embellishments. It just is so festive. All right, so we can trim the excess, cut that away from the spool. Back to our glue dots again here. I'm gonna use 2 at this point. I'm gonna put 1 kind of directly across the other side from the sequin trim, and I'm just gonna bunch that dude up. Kind of pull out these tails. See, so I've got kind of a center that's going on here. It's getting trim at the middle. And then we're gonna take another glue dot for the back of our lovely lipstick bow. Put it together. I think I used about 5 glue dots here. And then the last one will go on the back of the embellishment so that we can add it to the card when we're ready. So there it is. It's fun and festive, don't you think? Uses up the scraps too. Go straight to your scrap bag. I don't know if you guys have a ribbon salad bag, but I do, and it's a great place to make fun little embellishments like that. All right, so now my birthday should be dry enough that I can dovetail. Uh-oh, Pam still flunks bow making. Maybe we need to get on like Facebook Messenger, like a video messenger, and do bows together, Pam, because it's just technique. Kathy too. It's just technique. We're gonna scrap a ribbon and we'll practice. All right, so I want about, I don't know, maybe it's 1/2 inch from the exclamation point. So I like to push my banner all the way in and kind of back out about as much as I think is right. There's my dovetail. I'm going to What does Dolores say to me? She's finally tuning in. Happy spring break. How was my last craft fair? Was it beneficial? Oh, Dolores, my last show was a ladies' spring tea, and they had vendors there. So it was a very different dynamic than usual. So interesting. Different clientele than the craft fairs too. So we'll see what kind of benefit it has for like the rest of the business. It was profitable. I made, it took my, what I brought in minus about half, because I think that that's what is in materials, minus then my booth fee, and then what's left is, was I profitable? And yes, I was a little profitable, so that was good. We'll see how it goes in the long run. It was also good for my spirit to like get out and make myself leave the house, and you know, I remind myself a lot I can do hard things. And that was one of those days where I just needed that extra reminder that I could do hard things. Julie says she just asks me to make her bows. Yep, I am an awesome bow wingman. I do in-person events in the Chicago area, my Rolling Meadows home studio, and all adult crafters in the Chicago area. You are welcome. We have a good time. So email marisa@kitchentablestamper.com if you want to join us sometime. All right, so I've got my little embellishment here, and it's all dimensional. One of the things that I was aiming for as I did this was I wanted the pink bow to extend up off of the pink rectangle. I liked the visual of that, so I'm watching my placement carefully there. It's a little detail, but it was important to me. There's my dude. And then last little step, we got this fun little embellishment that we built. And we're gonna add that right in kind of at the edge of our banner here. And then if you have to, like I do here for my little sequin, I'll give it a little trim. There. There's our birthday cards. All right, you guys. I hope that that was inspiring and educational. Maybe you learned something. If you got any questions about the project, let me know. Pam says, so cute, love it. Elizabeth shared, thank you, Elizabeth. That's how people learn about what I'm doing here. I love to interact with you guys. Thank you for sharing with your friends. Carol wishes she lived near because she would come to classes. Oh, I would love it. It would be so much fun to have you, Carol. If you're ever in Chicago, look me up. All right, you guys, if there's anything that I can do for you, answer questions about the project, help you get your order in for some of those framelit sets that Stampin' Up! Has mentioned are on low inventory and will sell out. If there's anything I can do, Stampin' Up! For you, reach out, marisa@kitchentablestamper.com. If you want to go shopping and grab some of these die sets that I featured in the samples, marisaalvarez.stampinup.net is the place. Dolores says, I think you need to do a tutorial on where you get your creative juices from. Oh, I did that once, Dolores. And people thought I was crazy. I'll see if I can find it. It's way far back in the blog. I'll see if I can find it and send you a private message. I talked a little bit about my creative process. Pam says, thank you. Kathy says, thank you. Carol says, thank you. It's my pleasure, ladies. Thank you for joining me. I'll catch you next week, Friday at noon. Bye, guys.